how society is just crazy lately with the Epstein files and these solar flares and politics, and it's just nuts. And he said it's just an honor to know you, and say it's great to listen to your shows because you're a voice in the wilderness. You bring logic into people getting healthy, and mental health affects physical health, which affects social health. And so it's really important that we shift with this. It's okay to shift. What we've been doing hasn't been working very well. So we're going to shift a little bit and get into taking care of ourselves. Okay, cameras are up. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Glad you're with me today. What I'm saying is that a friend of mine gave me this idea for the show today, and he said the world is changing. It's really a crazy world right now. And mental health, physical health, chiropractic, nutrition, things like that, affects mental health, which affects social health, which is going to change the world. And he said shows like yours, your podcasts, are just phenomenal because not a lot of people are out there telling the truth. So it was really kind of a good idea, and so I decided to do the show on that. So we're ready to start whenever you are, John. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Interesting show today. Had a friend of mine talking to me the other day, and he said, first, it was kind of weird because we have a very good friendship, but he walks up to me and says, it's an honor to know you. And I didn't know how to take that. It was kind of weird coming from this type of relationship we have, And he said, the world is crazy right now, and all the things in politics and news and everybody covering things up and solar flares. And he says, what you talk about is a voice in the wilderness. You're talking about people getting well because mental health, physical health and nutrition affect mental health, which affects social health, which changes the whole world. He said, so I really feel the world is changing in this direction. I feel it too. So the shift is there, and we're a big part of it. So it's really kind of cool. So I'm going to talk today about ordinary medicine versus holistic healthcare and how the two will treat different conditions. And this is really the key here. Because what we're doing works in many cases, orthodox ordinary medicine, but it's limited. What can we do to add to that to help people get well and stay well? But I want to start with this article. This is an interesting article. Title is, Here's Why Physicians Are Quitting Medicine. Now, I've talked about this in the past, that a lot of my friends who are medical doctors are just done. They don't want to do it anymore. So now, at first I thought it was just kind of my friends chatting, but this is actually a real thing. Government bureaucracy, prior authorization, burnout, and depression cited during a Senate hearing. So it's actually come up to the government. And expanding healthcare delivery and eliminating red tape and investing in mental health is what the lawmakers are saying we need to do to try to just keep the system going. The system's crashing because doctors are dropping out like crazy. More than half of the physicians they interviewed said they were burned out, and about 400 physicians a year die of suicide. It's pretty serious. Rates of depression are about 15 to 30% higher among medical students compared to the general public. It's very stressful to be a doctor. I know. I've been doing it for 40 years. One physician leaving practice potentially leaves about 2,000 to 3,000 patients without access to care. So every time a doctor drops out, they have about 2,000 to 3,000 patients under their Rolodex or whatever, and the people aren't getting the care. So they said the government says it's no longer an option. Addressing this issue is no longer an option. It's critical to ensure access to care. If you've been to orthodox medicine lately, you understand what this is all about. Doctors are told you have 8 minutes per patient. In most cases, not all, but most cases, 8 minutes per patient. You don't get to build a relationship. One of the things I love about what I do is we build a relationship with every one of our patients. And the difference, too, is when you come to our office, you usually come for several visits. It's not a one and done. Like medicine, I go in, I get a shot, I go in, I get a stitch, and I'm done. We actually build a relationship with the patients. We get to know the patient, we get to find out what they need, and try to get to the cause of their healthcare problems and not just treat the symptoms. Among more than half the practice surveyed had lost a physician to burnout in the last 3 years. And why is this happening? It's pre-authorization is the biggest issue. So many times when you want to do a procedure, you got to go to the insurance company, hat in hand, and say, please, great insurance company, please allow me to treat John because he has this condition. And then some insurance company, some guys, I don't know where they are, decide whether John gets treated for his high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever it is, surgery, or not. And it's frustrating for us, the doctors, and I see it from a chiropractic and holistic standpoint as well, that we have to get permission from the insurance company to treat you. The insurance company's never met you, knows nothing about you, yet they're deciding life and death decisions every single minute of every single day. Now, you don't have to use insurance. Understand that. The insurance company says, no, I have people say that. Well, Dr. Joe, my insurance company says I can't come see you. No, the insurance company says they're not going to pay for it. Doesn't mean you can't come see us. And in our world, chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. So it's still cheaper. It's sometimes cheaper to come see us than even use your insurance. Isn't that insane? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. So it's not just me. I just thought I was, had this special thorn in my side. No, doctors are dropping out of care and they're burning out because they want to treat the patient. They want to give them the care they need. And the insurance companies are saying, nope, we're not going to pay for it. And then you have to go back and request again. And you got to go. It's such a song and dance. The biggest expense, I know in our office, is filing insurance and following up with insurance. The single biggest expense. Isn't that crazy? And we're not getting paid hardly anything anyway. So the insurance companies have set it up so that it's really difficult for you to get the care that you need, or get the care you need covered for. But Senator Ashley Moody, a Republican from Florida, talked about the mass exodus of physicians who are switching over from primary care over to what we call concierge models. Concierge model, and I thought about doing this several times actually because it's just insane dealing with insurance companies, is you pay a certain fee and then you have access to me and my doctors. No insurance. Pay a certain fee, you have access to us. And depending on the concierge model would determine how many visits you get. Sometimes it's unlimited, phone consultations. And so I understand why doctors are doing this. Orthopedists, neurologists, primary care physicians, chiropractors, they're just like, I can't do this anymore. They're making it so difficult to be a patient, to be a doctor. I'm sorry. And this Senator Ashley Moody said, I'm really worried about what happens for everyday Americans that might not be able to afford the concierge service. A physician that leaves practice because they're overburdened sees exactly 0 patients, which of course is true. But it's a serious issue. And I've seen it with my friends who are in the medical world, nurses, primary care physicians, even the specialists, orthopedists, neurologists, gynecologists. A lot of doctors don't want to be gynecologists anymore. They don't want to deliver babies anymore anyway, because the risk is so high. Something's wrong with the baby, they blame the doctor. So it's totally out of control. So I'm hoping the pendulum swings the other way and people start taking care of their own health so that we can shift. Insurance companies will listen to people when they talk with their wallets. You know what? I'm not even going to use my insurance anymore. I'm going to lower my coverage. I'm going to pay you less because it's just insane. I can't keep doing this. So that leads me, 7 minutes later, into what I want to talk about today. I just break it right down. I'm going to give you the top health conditions that people struggle with and how they're typically treated with a medical versus a holistic approach. Now, let me say this. It's not about attacking medicine. It's not about attacking holistic approaches. It's about what else can you do as the patient. That's the most important thing. You have to start taking responsibility. We've gotten to the point where I have a problem. I go to the doctor and the doctor's going to fix me. Well, doctors are with you for 8 minutes. Maybe they're going to fix some of it, not all of it. Maybe there's going to be drugs or surgery. If necessary, absolutely cool. But what else can we do? And not just treat the symptom, but get to the cause of the problem and extend your life, quality and quantity. So life-saving treatment, absolutely. But when it comes to chronic diseases, I want you to consider starting to take control of your own health. So let's jump in. Number one reason we see patients is back pain. Number 2 is digestion. But the number 1 medication I see my patients on is high blood pressure medication. So traditionally, ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, diuretics, we try to force the blood pressure down. But that doesn't get to the cause of the problem. So go to orthodox medicine, and they give you the medications and say, take these pills for the rest of your life, and we'll check on you every now and then, maybe change your prescription. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. However, what if we can get to the cause of the problem and you can reduce or eliminate the need for medication? Different approach. So what would I do? Or what would we do, me and my people in my world? weight loss, plant-based nutrition, magnesium, potassium-rich foods, stress reduction, spinal alignment, nitric oxide support, fixing the digestive system. None of that is mentioned with ordinary doctors. It's not what they do. If you came to me and you said, I have a broken arm, I could give you herbs, I can give you red light therapy, all that's great, but you're going to go need to see an orthopedic surgeon, get that bone set back in place, and get it put in a cast. Absolutely. So I'm certified to set fractures. I'm board certified in non-surgical orthopedics. I've never set one in my life. So even though I can do it, it's within my training, I won't do it because it's not something I'm good at. So when it comes to naturally treating blood pressure, that's when you come see people like us. So what do? I would say, okay, first of all, let's see if you have any pinched nerves. Vagus nerves, which come out of your neck, control your digestive system, also control your blood pressure. So if the atlas, the top bone in the neck, is out of place, we'd put that back in place and maybe take the pressure off the vagus nerves so that it can tell the heart to slow down, to not beat as hard. If you have a digestive issue, heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, colitis, all of these are affecting what's called the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system is controlled by, mostly, the vagus nerves. Well, the vagus nerves also control the heart. So if there's something going on in the gut, you got heartburn, acid reflux, it can affect the heart and raise the blood pressure. So if we fix the gut, multiple things happen. You digest your food better, you pass out your waste products better, you start producing neurotransmitters, help the brain work better. Everything changes from the gut standpoint, but now we take the stress off the vagus nerve and the blood pressure has a tendency to drop. How many of you have high blood pressure and digestive problems? Raise your hands. I can't see you, by the way. You may have a connection between the two. And if we fix the gut, I'm not saying definitely, but if we fix the gut, many times we fix the blood pressure. How's that for a wild approach? We get you on something like Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support. Nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels, and within 20 minutes, it'll drop the blood pressure. Now, the blood pressure will go back up again once the nitric oxide is all used up. I take nitric oxide every day. I have fine blood pressure, but it gives me energy. It gives me clear thought. It increases circulation to every part of the body. If you take it before a workout, you usually have more energy to work out. If you take it after workout, many times you don't get the spasm and the stiffness afterwards because it increases circulation to your muscles, flushes out the waste products. We get you on B-complex, a methylated B-complex, so that the nerves can work more efficiently. Maybe you're overweight, and that's causing a high blood pressure. We have a class, and I'll even send it to you if you want. I'll send you the class. I usually sell the class, and it comes with supplement package. Well, I'll give you the class for free if you want it. Not supplements, though. You can just send me an email through the website, drjoe.com, and say, I want the weight loss class. We have 4 classes. I'll send anyone, any or all of them. Smoking, high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. Send me an email through my website, drjoe.com, and say you want the class on, any or all, smoking, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity. I'll send you the class absolutely free. It's my gift to you. Doctors ask me sometimes, because, again, we're talking about holistic versus ordinary, and I have a lot of friends that are ordinary doctors, and they'll say, why do you give away so much stuff? Every time I listen to your show, you're giving away books, you're giving away classes, you're giving away lectures, you're giving away show notes. Because I know this information. I have it all written down. I might as well share it with you. No reason not to. It really doesn't cost me anything. I send you an email. So I'm happy to share this information with you so you can start taking control of your own health. So today's show is ordinary versus holistic. So if you want to copy today's show notes, just say, I want the show notes, ordinary versus holistic. Happy to send them to you. So high blood pressure, 2 different approaches. What if we did both at the same time? Nothing wrong with that. I tell people all the time, listen, if you're on medication, continue your medication. Let's try this holistic approach. And when you start getting better, you can talk to your doctor about reducing your medication. I think it's a pretty good deal. Doesn't work? Doesn't work. So what? You took some supplements, you ate some good food, you got the spine fixed, got digestive system fixed. But it usually works, which is kind of cool. So number 1 medication we see is high blood pressure. Number 2 is what? Diabetes. Exactly. So traditionally, you go to the doctor, you have high blood sugar, high A1C. They'll give you metformin, insulin, glucose-lowering drugs, and we'll go monitor you. That's pretty much it, right? Maybe some dietary advice, but not much. So let's look at a holistic approach to diabetes. And here's the thing. With type 2 diabetes, in many cases, You can reduce or eliminate medication. Same thing with blood pressure. But you have to take some responsibility on this. We get you on a low glycemic diet, reducing visceral fat, exercise, chromium, berberine, repair the gut, fiber. Fiber is so important for diabetes because fiber pushes the food through the colon and you get a slow release of sugar. And if you're eating high fiber food, it's usually low in sugar anyway. So you get a double whammy. So I could have a salad with chickpeas and maybe some pumpkin seeds and some vinegar, because vinegar does what? Stabilizes blood sugar. And then I give you supplements like Dr. Joe's Glucose Guard to stabilize the blood sugar. It has berberine and things like that in it. And now you're eating a high-fiber diet, lots of nutrients, vinegar to help stabilize the blood sugar. I recommend cinnamon to start taking a little bit of cinnamon every day, about a teaspoon once or twice a day, Ceylon cinnamon, Ceylon. And now we have a natural approach to stabilizing the blood sugar. Now, if this blood sugar stabilized long enough, you can go to your doctor and say, hey, doc, maybe I can cut out the medication? And in most cases, the doctor says, sure, why not? Medication was only there because you had these symptoms. So look at what we're doing here. We're looking at getting to the cause of the problem, not just treating the symptoms. And now you have better health, which gives you better mental health, physical health versus mental health, which gives you better what I call social health. You're able to interact with people without going off the handle, without screaming and yelling, sometimes violence involved. Many times, if we're stable physically, we're able to be stable mentally. And mentally, I'll talk about that coming up soon, the holistic approach to anxiety and depression. I'm going to give you a little tease there. So if you have a health issue, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. I want to be your doctor. So go to drjoe.com, drjoe.com, book an appointment for you, your friends, your family, and your children. Let's evaluate the nervous system. Let's look at the digestive system. Let's look at the diet. Find out what supplements might work for you, and let's try to get to the cause of your problem. Stop suffering needlessly. Every day, been in practice over 40 years, same place. Every day, patients come in and say, Dr. Joe, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't somebody tell me there was an alternative approach to high blood pressure or diabetes? I'm not saying stop your drugs. Let's try this alternative approach along with what you're doing, and let's see what happens. In most cases, you're pretty happy. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We can get you in. We have 3 offices. We can probably get you in within 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours. We accept almost all insurances. Normally, the first visit is $940. For you, my listeners, I've reduced that to $299. So it's affordable for just about everybody. That includes a consultation, exam, x-rays, first treatment, going over the x-rays on a follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Can't get that anywhere else that I know of. And you're getting it at $299. And I do that so that we can say, okay, yes, you are a good candidate for chiropractic care, nutrition, orthopedist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, gynecologist, psychiatrist. I don't know. We'll be able to determine that instead of just going to a surgeon and say, do I need surgery? Maybe you do. Go to a psychiatrist. Yeah, you need therapy. I want to be your gatekeeper and try to direct you as to where's going to be the best treatment for you. So stop suffering needlessly, drjoe.com. If you're ever in a car accident, if the car is damaged, you're damaged. You need to come see me immediately. You're going to get scam calls. Go see this doctor. Go see this lawyer. I'm your friend. I work for the insurance company. No one will ever call you to tell you to go see a doctor or a lawyer. And if they do, it's a felony. I don't think you want to be involved with a felon. So drjoe.com. If I don't have an office near you, I'll direct you to somebody who hopefully I can trust. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about holistic healthcare versus ordinary healthcare, the different approaches that doctors take. Heart disease, traditionally what? Statin drugs, blood thinners, bypass surgery? Yeah. Here's the funny thing about statin drugs. I just heard this research study that if you take statin drugs for 5 years, you increase your life expectancy, and I don't know if I have this exact time, but it's about 5 days. 5 days. Plus all the negative side effects, plus the money, plus it's lowering your body's ability to produce something called coenzyme Q10. We have something on the website, CardioQ. If you're on statin drugs, I'm begging you, start taking CardioQ every day. Start taking the CoQ10 because the statin drugs reduce your body's ability to produce it, and this will replace it. Why do you need CoQ10? CoQ10 goes into the cells, into the mitochondria, and help the cells generate electricity. Keeps the cells active and young and functioning. So it's statin drugs, even though it lowers your cholesterol, doesn't really extend your life expectancy very much. Take it 10 years at whatever it is, 10 more days. But what if we just got to the cause? Why are my arteries clogged? Bad diet, stress, hydrogenated oils, cooked foods, fried foods, free radicals. Nobody ever talked about that. So what if we got you healthy enough so that the arteries can start to heal and clean themselves up? You want to get on Dr. Joe's vitamin D3 with K2 because vitamin K2, helps take calcium buildup from your blood and bring it into the bones. Nattokinase does a similar thing as well. We don't have a nattokinase supplement. You got to check the nerve supply to the arteries. Make sure that you don't have pinched nerves going to the arteries so the arteries can't work properly. You want to get on a high-fiber diet. Gee, sounds familiar, doesn't it? A lot of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. If you want a copy of my books, the first book I ever wrote is called Eating Right for the Health of It. And I'll send you a PDF. I'm not going to send you a hard copy. I'll send you a PDF absolutely free. Eating Right for the Health of It is a bunch of recipes and how to change your diet, how to eat, basically. The second book, Prescription for Extreme Health, is why you do things. It's kind of like an owner's manual for your body. And I will send you that PDF absolutely free. I'll even send you today's show notes, absolutely free. Send me an email through the website, drjoe.com. Say you want the show notes on ordinary versus holistic. I'll send you the show notes. If you want the books, I'll send you the books, absolutely free. Just tell me which one you want, or both. I'll happily send you both. And again, it's a simple thing. I just send you a link. So I want to share this with you so you can start taking proactive steps. And understand there is another world out there aside from medicine. Ain't nothing wrong with medicine, but we need to start incorporating these things in because healthcare costs are going up, results are going down, doctors are jumping ship. We started the show by talking about how doctors are just, I'm done. I'm quitting. I don't want to do this anymore. 8, 12 years of school. I'm done. I quit. Isn't that crazy? Why? Because they're getting burned out. They're frustrated. They're not able to give the treatment that they want to give because we have to follow insurance guidelines. Now, we don't have to follow insurance guidelines if a patient's willing to pay for it. There's not a better investment in the world. Not crypto, not gold, not silver, not a better investment in the world than investing in your own health. If nothing else, you live longer, you make more money. So whatever your motivation is, come see us. Let's see what we can do for you. So for heart disease, anti-inflammatory diet, because inflammation gets into the blood vessels, and inflammation, the body says, uh-oh, there's an inflamed part of the artery. That means it's weak. I got to lay down some cement to make that thicker. And that's called plaque or hardening of the arteries, heart disease. So omega-3 fatty acids are vital to bring down inflammation. Now, omega-3 fatty acids, the good ones are not that cheap. I mean, they're still cheaper than buying a cup of coffee. But compared to other supplements, I take omega-3 fatty acids every day. You should too, because they're what's called essential fatty acids. You have to get them from an outside source. Essential means you can't make them inside. I can't make certain, I can't make omega-3s. I can't make certain amino acids. They're called essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. Other ones I can make inside. I can take other nutrients. My body can shift it around and make something else, but I need omega-3s. They bring down inflammation. They help with brain function. They slow down the aging process. So important. Now, fish oil is one that's very common. People take fish oil, very high in mercury in many cases. And fish oil goes rancid pretty quickly. So you don't want to take rancid oils. That's worse than taking no oils. So I'm not a fan of fish oil. Krill oil, Krill, is a better choice. Less likely to be contaminated with mercury, and it's already what's called a phospholipid form. Better choice. Best choice, because when it comes to health, I want the best, algae oil. Now, fish don't produce omega-3 fatty acids, neither do krill. Krill get it from eating smaller fish or microbes, and algae is the thing that produces the omega-3. So algae is the bottom of the food chain, and then everything eats from the algae. So why not just take the algae? It's the purest form, very low risk of contamination, very high reward. And that's on my website, drjoe.com. So all the supplements that we talk about are on the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment on the website. Send me your health questions. I am happy to answer your health questions for you. If you have a health question, send it to me 24 hours a day, and I know a bunch of you do. I get tens and tens of them every day, drjoe.com. So you can make an appointment. You can get the supplements. And if you follow me on social media, you're going to get 2 health tips a day absolutely free. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. The other ones are Dr. Joe Esposito. Get your free health tips, get your books, get your show notes, make an appointment, drjoe.com. Folks, don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back. Bam. All right, I untied my shoe right in the middle of everything, so I'm stepping on my lace. All right, John, you have any questions for me? I didn't tell people to send in questions. I guess they just knew.
What are your thoughts on canned vegetables and beans? Does the aluminum seep into the food?
They don't usually use aluminum anymore, but they use bisphenol A. And bisphenol A is a lining in the cans, and the lining of the can is an endocrine disruptor. So I'm not a fan of canned vegetables if I can avoid them. I will eat canned vegetables instead of alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. So once again, it's always making the best choice you can at any time. So I prefer not to eat canned vegetables. I don't eat a lot of them. But if I do, I try to make sure they're organic. The organic, sometimes they don't use bisphenol A, but sometimes they do. It's just a can lining to make the food slide out quicker. I did my tea. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
What about frozen vegetables in bags?
Absolutely fine. Good stuff. I eat frozen vegetables all the time and frozen fruit. So. What else?
Why do thin, seemingly healthy people still have heart attacks?
Just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. Doesn't mean just because you have muscles doesn't mean you're healthy. You see all the time professional athletes dropping dead at 40 years old. So they have heart attacks because A, they have a genetic problem. B, just because they're thin doesn't mean they don't have stress on their arteries. Maybe they're drinking coffee, they're doing cocaine. That could keep you thin. Put stress on the arteries. Body lays down cholesterol. Piece of that cholesterol breaks off, goes up into the heart, and it kills them. So that's one of the many reasons. They just have a bad diet. You can be thin and have a bad diet. You can be vegan and have a bad diet. You don't have to be, there's ways to eat healthy. You can not be vegan and have a good diet. So I prefer the vegan healthy diet. That's the protocol I like. But it really depends on genetics. It depends on their lifestyle. It depends on what they're eating. It depends on a lot of different things. So what else you got?
Should I mix soy milk and cinnamon for a nice dessert? Should I add honey?
Yes. And if you use stevia or Lohan or something like that, even better. But if you want to use honey, make sure it's organic, local honey. Yeah, but cinnamon and soy milk is great. Absolutely. Cinnamon, make sure it's Ceylon. That's the best kind, Ceylon. And then sweeten it however you'd like, but I prefer you do things like monk fruit or something along those lines instead of honey. But if you're going to use honey, it's not the end of the world. What else?
That is all.
All right. Part 2. All right. And folks, if you have any questions, just send them through the website. Anytime as we're doing part 2, and then at the end of part 2, I'll go ahead and answer your questions for you. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. If you just joined me, welcome. If you stayed with me, thank you. I certainly appreciate you spending time with me. And hopefully you get a lot of good information today. We're talking about ordinary healthcare versus holistic healthcare and the different approaches to certain conditions. And I'm not saying one or the other. How about if we just use both? Now, I always approach it holistic first. If that doesn't work, then I can go to orthodox medical. Some people, if you're ready on the medical, it's fine to do both. That's fine with me. I don't mind that at all. So, we talked about type 2 diabetes, talked about heart disease. Now, the number one reason we see patients is pain. The number 2 reason we see patients, what do you think it is? Digestive problems. Heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. I would say everybody's got it. Nobody talks about it. It's just not, it's not first date conversation. But think how complicated your digestive system is. You eat a little square hamburger on white bread with a meat byproduct, God knows what's in there, a little bit of onion. Somehow, this incredible digestive system of yours breaks it down into its tiny little components, recycles what it can use, takes out the nutrients, and tries to pass out some of the waste products. Crazy. There is not a computer in the world with AI that comes close to your digestive system. Isn't that wild? And your brain, same thing. We have computers that are really good. But I remember reading an article back in college, way back when, will the brain ever understand the brain? Great title for an article. It stuck with me. But the digestive system is so complex, and you beat the heck out of it every single day. You eat ultra-processed foods. You eat monosodium glutamate, artificial sweeteners, fiberless foods, junk foods, folic acid versus folate. Methylcobalamin versus cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin being the bad one, folic acid being the bad one. And we do this every day, beating ourselves up. No fiber, very little fiber, alcohol, sugar, high fructose corn syrup, meats, dairy products. And then somehow we're shocked to find out that we have Crohn's disease, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, acid reflux, heartburn, colon cancer. None of those happen after one meal. All of those take time. And then when you're finally diagnosed, it's already later stages. So the big thing, acid reflux, what do? We get you on proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, antacids. We try to neutralize your stomach acid. Well, it makes sense. I have acid reflux. I need to reduce the acid so that I don't have the reflux. Perfectly logical. I'm on board 100% with you. However, you need acid to digest your food. Oh, didn't know that. Yeah, you need to have very high stomach acid to digest your food, especially your proteins. So you lower your stomach acid. Now you're not digesting your food properly. It passes from your stomach into your small intestine, where essentially it putrefies or rots. And you're not getting the nutrients that you should, cause an inflammatory reaction. Now suddenly we have acid reflux or hiatal hernia. Now we get irritable bowel disease, Crohn's, colitis. Well, I just got a bad digestive system. No, you got a malfunctioning digestive system. Big difference. So in many cases with acid reflux, what's a natural approach? There are so many natural things you can do. Number one, which is the most important, is we need to physically pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. If the stomach pushes up into the diaphragm, we pull it back down, and in many, many cases, fixes the acid reflux. Doesn't treat it, fixes it. So we want to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. I take a digestive enzyme every time I eat a cooked meal. Because at my age, I just don't have the enzymes that I used to. It's called aging. It's okay. So I take a digestive enzyme every time I eat a cooked meal, and it's amazing. So much less gas and bloating and acid reflux, and I absorb my nutrients better. I go to the bathroom better. Everything changes when you start digesting your food again. So on the website, drjoe.com, we have a digestive enzyme. I take one if it's a simple meal. Let's assume I had cooked vegetables or something like that. I'll take one. If I have something heavy like a split pea soup or Mexican food, I'll take 2 digestive enzymes. If I eat a salad, no big deal. In the morning, I take my supplements. I eat some fruit usually. I don't take an enzyme with that. But when I eat cooked food, I take an enzyme. I am begging you to consider doing this. And after just like a day or two, you start to see a difference. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better because you're digesting your food. You're taking the stress off that incredible digestive system that you have that is getting older and weaker. It happens to everybody. It's not just you. It's everybody. And that's okay. Let's fix it. When you start absorbing your nutrients, let me tell you, man, life changes for the better. Probiotics. I take a probiotic every day. Probiotics are good bacteria that live in your colon. Because here's what happens. When I eat food, let's assume I'm going to have a carrot or a steak. I won't have a steak, of course. Goes into my stomach. Stomach has acid, breaks down proteins. Goes into my small intestine. The pancreas releases protease, amylase, and lipase to break down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. The gallbladder releases bile to break down the fats. And now the bacteria come in. The bacteria in my colon, real simply put, eat what they want, spit out what they don't like. It's called a postbiotic. You never heard that word before. And then I absorb the nutrients. So I need that bacteria to absorb my nutrients. And if I'm taking antibiotics, if I'm drinking chlorinated water, if I have a glyphosate, weed killer on my food, which all of us have glyphosate in our body, they've tested, everybody has it, it's killing off the good bacteria in the colon. So I take a probiotic. But just as important as a probiotic is something called a prebiotic. Prebiotics are fiber. So if I'm eating a high-protein carnivore diet, this insane thing that people are doing, eating these high-protein meats and dairy products all the time, I'm not getting hardly any fiber. I'm not feeding the good bacteria in my colon. The long-term results are devastating. Long-term results. Short-term results, I lose weight, I feel great. Apparently, I've never done it. But you need the prebiotics to feed the good bacteria in your colon. One of the things the bacteria produce is something called butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid, and butyrate helps us feel full. It activates the L cells, which give you GLP-1. GLP-1, the drug everybody's taking, GLP-1s to produce your own GLP-1s to make you feel full. And it helps heal the lining of the colon, helps with the immune system. And more research is coming out on butyrate that it's like the greatest thing in the world. You can't take a butyrate supplement. It gets absorbed higher up in the digestive system. We need to get it down lower. The only way to get it down lower in the digestive system, further down, I should say, is by eating fiber to produce butyrate to help with so many different things, short-chain fatty acids. So fiber is so important to let the body digest. And we're talking right now about acid reflux and digestive problems. And it helps weight reduction. Pretty cool, too. Now, we can pull the stomach back into place because sometimes all the digestive enzymes and all the fiber and all the butyrate, it's not going to physically move the stomach back to where it belongs. And then from our standpoint, we check the nerve supply to the organs as well. For example, in this case, the stomach, to make sure that there's no pinched nerves coming from your spine to the stomach so the brain can talk to the stomach. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and we're talking today about ordinary healthcare versus holistic healthcare and the different approaches each one takes to a specific health problem. And I've been around for a long time. I've been in practice over 40 years. Every day, I learn something new that I'm fascinated with, and I can apply to my own life to help myself get better. So I don't expect you to know all this. I've spent 40 years doing it, and I learn something new every day. So I don't expect you, unless you're going to dedicate your entire life for the next 40 years to learn this, but I want to be your doctor. I want to sit down with you and say, okay, let's put together a protocol that maybe can help get your problem. I have plenty more. I'm not going to get to them all. Maybe I'll even do a part 2 today. I'll do it next time. But if you want a copy of today's show notes, just send me an email through the website, drjoe.com. I'll send you all the show notes, probably part 2 as well. And you could look at it and say, okay, I have this condition. I have 20 listed. I may do more if I need to. This is what I have. This is the orthodox approach. This is the holistic approach. It's okay to use both. I don't have a problem with that. Medicine's great. Medicine has saved my life. I know I got hit by a car one time years ago when I was in a coma. So medicine saved my life. But medicine also, malpractice, killed my father and my mother. So I have a little passion when I talk about this stuff. I get a little angry that they were never offered holistic approaches. And my father died. I was early on in my career, so I wasn't smart enough to offer him all this. So I want to be able to offer you these things because I don't want you, spending crazy amounts of money, going bankrupt. It's a great commercial. I don't know if you saw it. And it's for it's a lady and a guy standing there. There's a real tall guy on the other side of the camera. And they say, who's that? That's Mark. Who's Mark? Mark marks up our drugs. Mark marked up a cancer drug 10 times last week. And then the lady says, what if people can't pay for it? Well, if they can't pay for it, we sue them. Ha, 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 ha. And it's true. Number one cause of bankruptcy in the United States is healthcare bills. Now, I'm not saying doctors should work for free. I mean, if you want to come volunteer in my office and have my whole staff volunteer, we can reduce our prices. But until then, I got to pay my staff. I got to pay my bills. But we shouldn't have to be paying $100,000 for surgeries when we could have done something like realign the joint, do some acoustic wave therapy on it, some cold laser, and hopefully prevented you from ever getting to that point. Not always. I'm not against surgery. But when somebody's charging $70,000 for a 20-minute procedure, now, there's expenses. I get it. Anesthesiologists, the doctors, the surgical procedures, the surgical units. It's a lot of money to do that. But what if we can prevent you from ever getting to that point? That's my approach. That's why I want to be your doctor. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge, the Atlanta area. We can do a remote consultation if we need to, because I know this show goes all over the world. And let's check your nervous system. Let's check your digestive system. Let's look at your diet. Let's put together a plan specifically for you. Normally, the first visit is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Why wouldn't you do that? There's no reason why you wouldn't. I had a patient last week, veteran, walking with a cane, 3 years younger than me, walking with a cane, severe pain, 2 heart attacks, internal bleeding. I mean, it just went on and on and on. In fact, one of my doctors who did the intake came out and said, you got to go meet this guy. He's an interesting case. And his wife was there. And his wife said, I've been trying to get him to come see you for 5 years. Finally, I told him I'm not putting up with this anymore. You're going to go see him. And he came in. A very nice guy. Really enjoyed meeting him. And everything we found was like, oh my gosh, this looks like it's going to be a really easy case. Now, this guy was holding a cane and rocking back and forth because he was in so much pain. And I looked at his x-rays. I looked at his history. I thought, this isn't that hard. So I want to be your doctor. I don't want you to suffer needlessly. So go to my website, drjoe.com, book your appointment. Normally the first visit, $940. I've reduced that to $299. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, and a nutrition evaluation. And let's find out what's going to be the best course of treatment for you. Is it with us? Is it with an orthopedist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, psychiatrist, gastroenterologist, gynecologist? I don't know. Let's find out what's going to be the course of treatment for you, because you going in, you oftentimes don't know who I got to go see. I want to be that person, your portal of entry, so to speak. And if you're ever in a car accident, if the car is damaged, you're damaged. It's just that simple. I don't care if you don't have pain. Come to us and let us check you. Because I've had people according to the orthopedic books, will say up to 6 months for the pain to show up. And 6 months from now, guess what? Nobody's going to pay your bills. Insurance companies say you didn't go to the doctor, you're not hurt. Sometimes people come in 4 days later because they didn't have a car. Well, why didn't you go to the doctor right away? You weren't hurt. That's how we know you weren't hurt and you're faking it. It's like, what do you mean? I didn't have a car. I had a lady one time. I told this story before. Her father, she was coming to see us. Her father dies in New Orleans. She goes there 10 days, buries her father, comes back. The insurance company says, we're not paying this claim because you weren't hurt. You weren't at the doctor's office. I called the insurance adjuster personally, and I said, hey, this lady's father died. Well, no, there was a gap in care. They call it gap in care. So we got a copy of her father's death certificate and had to send it to the insurance company. And then they begrudgingly said, okay, we'll consider the claim again. That's how insane it is right now. And to play devil's advocate, there are so many scammers in healthcare. That's why doctors, if you listen to the first part of the show, doctors are dropping out of care left and right, out of practice, because they're just so frustrated. So, Elvis Presley said, I'm caught in a trap. I can't walk out. That's what's kind of happening. There's so many scammers that the insurance companies are now saying, well, we don't know who, everybody's a scammer in our eyes. So now the insurance companies make it hard for the honest guys like us who are trying to treat the patient, and they're also saving money too. Because some people say, well, my insurance doesn't cover it, I'm not going to get care. My insurance is going to give me pre-authorization to get that surgery, so I'm just going to die with it. I hear that. No kidding. So I want you to start taking control of your own health, and I want to be the captain of your ship. So drjoe.com, come see us. Let's check the nervous system. Let's check the digestive system. Let's look at your diet, and let's put together a protocol specifically for you. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Don't be like our patient last week. 5 years it took him. 5 years ago, it would have been a lot easier to treat him. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about ordinary versus holistic healthcare, the different approaches for different health problems, and what you can do about it. So where you can start taking proactive steps. And I have no problem using both, holistic versus ordinary care, perfectly fine with it. So depression is a biggie. I'll do anxiety and depression together. So what do? We use SSRIs. These are drugs to help you use the little bit of serotonin that you have. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that makes you happy, helps you focus. So we have depression, we have anxiety. We give you a drug to utilize the little bit of serotonin that you have. Maybe some antidepressants, benzodiazepines. These are drugs that we use for anxiety and depression. What if you were able to make more serotonin? Instead of utilizing a little bit that you have, what if we just made more? Wouldn't that be a cool idea? Well, I'm going to go back to our digestive problems. Your stomach breaks proteins into amino acids. There's 20 amino acids in a human diet. Some of them you can make inside your body. Some of them are essential. It means you got to get it from an outside source. So if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, you're taking acid reflux medications, PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, antacids, you lower your stomach acid. Acid takes a protein and breaks it into an amino acids. So let's assume I eat a carrot or a steak or a bean burrito. Protein looks like a ball of yarn under the microscope, and my stomach acids unravel the ball of yarn and chop it up into something called amino acids. Again, 20 amino acids in a human diet. The amino acid tryptophan goes into my small intestine, combines with vitamin B6. Where do I get B6 from? I can take it from a supplement, but if I have healthy bacteria in my colon, what's called the flora, a microbiome, the microbiome is able to produce vitamin B for me, different types of B vitamins. So I have a healthy digestive system. I'm breaking protein into amino acids, goes to my small intestine, I have vitamin B6, creates a chemical called 5-HTP. 5-HTP becomes serotonin in my gut. About 95% of it's made in my gut, about 5% in my brain. Serotonin is produced in my gut, and it's used in my gut. It's not just in your brain, it's used in your gut as well. Travels up to my brain via the blood vessel or the vagus nerves. And now my brain is able to focus and calm down. Serotonin converts into melatonin, which helps me sleep. And when I'm anxious and depressed, I'm not sleeping very well either. So now, instead of giving you a drug to utilize a little bit of serotonin, which is fine, I don't have a problem with that, what if we just were able to make more serotonin? And we do that by fixing your digestive system. Maybe it's digestive enzymes. Maybe it's pulling your stomach away from the diaphragm. Maybe it's getting you easy to digest proteins, like plant-based protein versus animal protein. And now suddenly we're treating the cause, not just treating the symptoms. Pretty cool. Tyrosine becomes dopamine. Dopamine gives us pleasure. Produced in the gut, travels up to the brain, about 50-50 with dopamine. Dopamine becomes norepinephrine. Norepinephrine gives us energy. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I don't want to move. I'm tired all the time. If I can break my proteins into amino acids to produce neurotransmitters, like dopamine, now suddenly my body's working better. I'm not saying come off your medications. I'm saying let's get you well enough so that you don't need your medications. It's a unique way of looking at things, isn't it? So what else would I do? I'd get you on Dr. Joe's omega-3 fatty acids. They help bring down inflammation, help the brain work better. I'll get you on a B complex. I'll get you on digestive enzymes. I get you on good food. I get you off the junk food, the ultra-processed foods that don't have a lot of nutrients in them. And I get you on things like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Now, if I'm not a fraction done of what I need to be. I'll probably do part 2 next week. If you want a copy of today's show notes, just send me an email through the website, drjoe.com, and say ordinary versus holistic. I'll send you a copy of the show notes. If you want any of my books, Eating Right for the Health of It, Prescription for Extreme Health, I'll send you PDFs. I'm not going to send you a hard copy. Somebody called up last week and said, Dr. Joe guaranteed hard copies of the books for free. No, I didn't. So I'll send you PDFs of the books absolutely free. Eating Right for the Health of It is like a recipe book, tell you how to change your diet. Prescription for Extreme Health is like an owner's manual for your body. Absolutely free. My gift to you. Show notes and or both books, drjoe.com. If you have any health questions, send me your health questions through the website, drjoe.com. Happy to answer your health questions. I give you guys a lot of information. Love it. I get so excited when I have the opportunity to do podcasts, radio shows, live lectures, TV shows. I need you to do me a favor. This is the yin and yang of life. You got to do me a favor because I do you a favor. I want you to follow me on social media. It's absolutely free. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of them if you can. All of them are Dr. Joe Esposito. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. Absolutely free. Just follow me. I will give you 2 health tips a day on social media. 2 a day. My gift to you. So you have books, you have show notes, you have social media. You can send me questions through the website. And on the bottom of my homepage of my website, drjoe.com, we have something called the Dr. Joe Show. It's a link. Those are all my radio shows, my live radio shows that I do where I take callers. And I have all those listed, and you could listen to some or all of them if you want to. Then we have the podcast. You click on that. Follow me on your podcast. Go to your podcast service. It's Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Dr. Joe for the Health of It. And you can get my podcast twice a week. So we have the podcast. We have archived podcasts and radio shows. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You have my website to email me questions. You shouldn't be suffering needlessly anymore. And all those services, by the way, are no charge. You shouldn't be suffering needlessly anymore. Now, I will say this. If you email me 2 or 3 questions, I'm eventually going to say you probably need to get a consultation. I'll give you basic advice, but I can't go 10, 15 emails with you. I'm sorry. I just don't have the capabilities to do that. So if I tell you, okay, we're done, you need to come see me, please don't keep emailing me. I don't want people taking advantage of my kindness, which unfortunately some people do. So I don't want to say no more questions. I want to be able to answer the questions. So let's try to get to the cause of your healthcare problems, not just treat the symptoms. And all the supplements we talk about, minimum supplements you should be taking are Super Greens, Essential Source, vitamin D3, and I say glutathione now. I've kind of changed it from B-complex to glutathione because glutathione is, I see so many people with liver issues. That's the starter kit. Super Green Essential Source is right on the website. First thing on the website in the store. That'll be about $5 a day if you get a month's supply. Get 2 months' supply while you're at it, though. It's less than a cup of coffee. I try to keep my prices as low as we can. I try to give you all the information I can. I don't know what else to do except have you come see me so we can get to the cause of your healthcare problems. Stop suffering needlessly. It's ridiculous how many people are suffering and dying, going into bankruptcy when there are alternatives. Not always, but sometimes. So, drjoe.com. Another thing we want to look at when it comes to anxiety is magnesium. We have a magnesium on the website, drjoe.com. I take a scoop a day. You can take 2 scoops a day if you want to. And magnesium does over 300 different things in the body, functions in the body. So magnesium will be something you want to do too. Something called adaptogenic herbs. That's Dr. Joe's adrenal support. Because all of us are burning out our adrenals every day. You need to get on adrenal support as well. We have a blood sugar stabilizer when it comes to anxiety and depression so you don't spike and crash. Dr. Joe's Glucose Guard. Been doing this for a long time. Chances are we have a supplement and or a protocol that's going to help you. And I want to give it to you. It's real simple. And then, of course, you want to reduce your caffeine consumption, too, because caffeine will mess with your brain, too. Now, there are some studies showing it can help the body. Yes, it can. But you can get all the benefits, all the good stuff out of caffeine from things like Super Greens, Essential Source, nitric oxide, B-complex, and you don't have to worry about the pesticides, the chemicals, the fungicides, and the caffeine, the dehydrating effects as well. Gosh, I'm almost out of time. Folks, thank you so much. Again, the website, drjoe.com. I hope to see you soon. All right. You have questions?
I'm a vegan and I have celiac disease. What can I do to ease my digestive system?
Okay, I've been vegan for over 40 years, so kudos to you, first of all. Many times with vegans, or everybody, it's a physical problem. The stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm. Now, with celiac, of course, you just have to avoid wheat, barley, and rye. You knew that already. But what can we do to create butyrate, which can help strengthen the colon walls and help the body to heal? So that's when we take vegan omega-3s. We take Super Greens, an essential source. I hope you're eating a good vegan diet, a high-fiber diet, not like Twinkies and Oreos or whatever like the Oreos I know are vegan. But eating healthy vegan. So if you send me an email, I'll send you a lecture I did called on digestion. And just send me an email through the website, drjoe.com, and I'll send you the protocol I recommend for us fellow vegans to try to get to the cause of this. Because you're doing great, but if the colon's all inflamed, you're not absorbing a nutrient. So I'll help you out with that. What else? drjoe.com is the website to send email.
I've heard about the negative long-term effects of the carnivore diet, but what is happening in the short term to make people lose weight?
Oh, well, what happens is if I eat sugar, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, the body converts it into glucose. Glucose goes into the cells, is used as fuel. If my cells have enough fuel, the body sends it back to the liver, converts it into glycogen, which stores energy. And then once that's all filled up, the glycogen converts into triglycerides, which gets stored as fat. So when I eat a meat diet, not me, but you, what happens is your body says, I don't have any glucose. And I need glucose. The brain needs glucose. That's one of the many negative side effects of the carnivore diet. The brain needs glucose, says, but it runs on ketones. It will run on ketones for a while, but ketones are a secondary fuel instead of glucose. So now I don't have any triglycerides being formed. I'm not turning it into fat. I'm running on glucose. Hey, I lose weight. This is great. Does it work? Absolutely. Is it something I'd recommend? Absolutely. I would never recommend. I'd never recommend it. I would absolutely not recommend it, I should say. So that's how it works. You're just not putting glucose into the body to convert into triglycerides to be stored as fat, but it's pretty toxic stuff. Plus the steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, all the toxic things that go along with a high carnivore diet. Does it work short term? Yes. Will it kill you probably long term? I'm not a fan. So, all right, what else you got, John?
I've heard that moderate sun exposure is a natural antidepressant, and it really seems to work for me. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, my house faces east. So in the summer, I'll go out and have my tea, and I have a bench in front of my house. I'll sit on a bench and face east just for maybe 10 minutes. And the morning sun is the best. I try to get out as often as I possibly can and get sunlight because there's so many things the sunlight does for you. Now, you don't want to burn. So with summer coming, titanium dioxide, or zinc oxide, actually. Zinc oxide should be the only sunscreen you use. Zinc oxide should be the main ingredient of your sunscreen. It's going to leave a little white film on you. That's okay. So get about 20 minutes of sun and then put the zinc oxide in or cover up. And if you go down to the Caribbean, these people aren't putting sunscreen on every day, are they? No. Go to Africa, not putting sunscreen on every day. What are they doing? They cover up. They wear long sleeves. They wear big hats. They wear floppy pants. They know not to be in the sun too long. And for some reason, we stupid tourists put baby oil on to get a better tan. It's not good for you. Cover up is going to be the best thing for you. So that's what I recommend you do. But absolutely, sun is wonderful, and you should get it every day if you can. I do. What else?
How can I get digestive enzymes?
drjoe.com in the store section. Click on the link that says Digestive Enzymes, the product, and we'll ship them to you. John will ship them to you. John does everything. John's my producer. He's my shipper. Does everything. Cleans my house. No, he doesn't do that. I've tried. I just can't get him to do it. What else you got?
How can I help my stomach from having diarrhea every other day? I guess it has to do with my diet.
Yes.
So I'm concerned and I need to know what I'm doing wrong.
Send me an email through the website. I'll send you a show I did on digestion, and I'll get you the supplements that I'd recommend for you as well. We may have to come see us so we can pull the stomach away from the diaphragm as well. That's usually a problem. There's a valve called the ileocecal valve between your small and large intestine, and with diarrhea, it's usually stuck open. If it's stuck closed, you have constipation. So I'll show you how to massage the valve to get it to work, pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. I'll send you the protocol on digestion. You should be fine. What else?
That is all.
All right, guys, what's your homework? Follow me on social media, right? All platforms, whatever platform you're on, make sure it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And I'll keep giving you this information like this. So we all work as a team. And I hope to see or hear from you this week. Any other questions, you know where to get me, Dr.